The 2020 Class B Minnesota Amateur Baseball Tournament is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association and presented to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 is the hub for all things sports with the Xfinity Sports Zone. And Wings Financial. We're for people like you.
Tony Richardson, Jim Clemenceau, terrific musicians.
And good afternoon and welcome to Joe Schlepper Stadium here in Shakopee for the final weekend of the State B Amateur Baseball Tournament. It is Elimination Saturday. You've got to win today to advance to tomorrow's championship game. Chanhassen already through. They beat Moorhead on Friday night by a score of 4-2 here at the Joe. The Redbirds have won 2 straight titles, trying for a third. So in today's action in Game 1, Cold Spring against Miesville will get started here at 1 o'clock. The Mudhens overall 14-8 on the year. The Springers 13-10. For Cold Spring, their route to this game today, they beat Anoka 10-0 in 8 innings opening weekend. Then they beat Elko last Saturday 9-5 before falling to the Moorhead Brewers 6-5 last Sunday. Meanwhile, Miesville beat Coon Rapids 5-0 on opening weekend. They beat the Champlain Park Low-Gators last Saturday 5-2 behind Jake Dickmeyer. And then on Sunday fell in another tight one, this time to Chanhassen 2-1. So it is Cold Spring against Miesville today. The winner will play the Moorhead Brewers later today at 4 o'clock. And the Mudhens take the field right now as they get ready for this game. We'll set the Mudhens defensively right now. And warming up is Connor Malcolm. Malcolm will be their starting pitcher today. And the right-hander is going to start taking his warm-up tosses. Malcolm 3-0, 15 innings. And we'll have more on his numbers. But Malcolm gets a start. Today it'll be his first appearance of the state tournament for the Mudhens. Mudhens wearing those navy blue uniforms. Behind the plate, catcher Max Morris. And then in the outfield, we have Brandon McKevitt in left, Matt Vanderbosch in center, and Joey Werner in right. On the infield, Derek Marks at third, Max Gam at short, Brian Sprout at second, Austin Ledoux at first. Once again, there's Connor Malcolm warming up. Now for Cold Spring, they are the visitor. They will be wearing maroon tops and gray pants today. Grant Hansen leading off, playing in center field. Garrett Fuchs will be at second base, batting second. Batting third, the shortstop Jordan Barth. Batting fourth in right field, Joe Dempsey. Batting fifth, the catcher Drew Bolson. Batting sixth, the third baseman Drew Van Looy. Batting seventh, the left fielder Brad Olson. Batting eighth, the first baseman Jaron Terrace. And batting ninth, the DH Alex Jungles. We are just about ready to go. Cold Spring and Miesville, our first game of the day. The winner will play the Moorhead Brewers today at 4 o'clock. Thanks so much for joining us here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Gorgeous day for a ball game here in Shakopee at Joe Schlepper Stadium. Field in perfect shape. Strike one now, ball one. 1-1 to Hansen, the leadoff hitter for the Springers. Hansen 4 hits leading off towards short. Gam. Long throw in the dirt, can't dig it out. Hansen will reach. That was a tough chance. Gam's throw in the dirt. Ledoux couldn't pick it. And we have a runner aboard, nobody out, and that'll bring up second base Garrett Fuchs. Fuchs 0 for 5 last Sunday against the Moorhead Brewers in that 6-5 loss. A week ago, Fuchs was 1 for 6. And then and then 3 for 4 in the opening win over Anoka. That's Garrett Fox. And that is an error on the board. E6 to open it. And a runner on board. So Malcolm works with a runner on board from the stretch. Here's a bunt. It's a good one. Pitcher off the mound, scoops it up. Throw to first in time. Fox retired 1-3. Hansen moves to second on the sacrifice. That'll bring up Jordan Barth, their shortstop. Last Sunday, Barth had 3 hits and 6 trips. Scored a run a week ago. Barth 4 hits, 2 runs, including a double. And then the opening weekend against the Anoka Bucks, 2 for 4, 2 RBI. Let's put together a pretty good state tournament for the Cold Spring Springers. And the weather in general here for the state tournament has been outstanding. And the hospitality at the Joe, top notch. What a facility. Here's one hit high in the air to deep left field. McKevitt back to the fence. It's gone. A 2-run home run for Cold Spring. And they lead it 2-0 here in the top of the first. The error, the sacrifice, and then the 2-run home run to left for Barth, and Cold Spring an early lead. That'll bring up Joe Dempsey, the cleanup hitter, playing in right field for the Springers. Dempsey last Sunday in that loss to Moorhead, 1 hit and 6 trips. A week ago, 3 for 4, an RBI, 2 runs. He had a walk in that ball game. And then Dempsey against the Anoka Bucks in that 10-0 win in 8 innings. He went 3 for 4 with a run scored in that one. So Barth, a 2-run shot, and an early lead for Cold Spring in this one. And this is a challenge ahead for these teams that are playing here in Game 1, Cold Spring and Miesville. The winner will advance to play Moorhead. If they win that game against the Brewers, then they would need to beat Chan twice tomorrow to claim a state title. So they got to win 4 in 2 days. Three and 1 out of Dempsey. And here's one hit. High and deep to left field. Going back, Vanderbosch off the fence. It gets away from Vanderbosch. That'll be an easy 1-out double for Dempsey. Well, the Springers have brought their hitting shoes. In that loss to the Brewers last Sunday, they had 18 hits. They had to have a 2-run shot and a long double to the wall in left center. And now it'll bring up Drew Bolson. Bolson 1 for 5 last Sunday. 1 for 4 a week ago with an RBI and a run scored. And he had a hit and a run in that win over Anoka on opening weekend here at the State B. So a good start for Cold Spring and a tough start for Connor Malcolm, the right-hander. Malcolm out of Woodbury, 5'11", 180 pounds. This one smashed to short. Gam up with it, goes to third. They get the lead runner in a rundown, and they will tag him out. And then they'll throw back to first. Another rundown here. And the runner is safe at second base. How about that? The lead runner, Joe Dempsey, retired. 6'5", best I can tell. But on the play, Bolson reaches on the fielder's choice, goes all the way to second. And now with 2 away and nobody aboard, the batter will be Drew Van Looy. Well, a heads-up play by Gam to get the lead runner. And then they almost caught Bolson between first and second. but he was able to get in safely. And here's a pitch outside, ball 1-0. Hansen started with an error. Fox sacrificed him over to second. Barth along 2-run homer to left. The double by Dempsey. And then he's caught trying to go to third. And now Bolson is on second base to just quickly recap. The batter is Van Looy. He had a hit, an RBI, and a run, and 5 at-bats last Sunday. 1 for 4 last Saturday against Elko, that 9-5 win. He had a couple RBIs. So Miesville gets out of the inning. They give up 2 runs on 2 hits, including the 2-run home run by Jordan Barth. 1 left on base, 1 error in the inning. After a half inning, Cold Spring leading Miesville. And the Mudhens are coming to bat here on PrepSpotlight.tv. And we move to the bottom of inning number 1. Here's Cold Spring defensively. Nick Pennick on the mound taking his warm-up tosses. Warren Pennick in a moment. Drew Bolson behind the plate. In the outfield, Brad Olson in left, Grant Hansen in center, Joe Dempsey in right. On the infield, Drew Van Looy at third, Jordan Barth at short, Garrett Fox at second, and Jaron Terrace at first. Pennick pitching to Bolson. And now for the Miesville Mudhens, Joey Werner leading off, playing at right, batting second, Matt Vanderbosch in center, batting third at third, Derek Marks, batting cleanup, Austin Ledoux at first base, batting fifth, the DH Nate Hammes, batting sixth, catcher Matt Morris, batting seventh at second base, Brian Sprout, batting eighth at shortstop, Max Gamm, and batting ninth in left field, Brendan McKivitt. Werner to get it started for the Mudhens, 14-8 now overall on the year. Opening weekend beat the Coon Rapids Redbirds 5-0. Second weekend beat Champlin Park a week ago 5-2. And then on Sunday lost to Chanhassen 2-1 in a great pitchers duel here at the Joe. And now it's Mark striding up to the plate, getting us started on a gorgeous Saturday in early September. Looks like the weather's going to change next week. Autumn will certainly be in the air, but a summer day today here in early September at Joe Schlepper Stadium. Just a real gem. A great sight for this year's Class B. And the first pitch from the right-hander, Pennick. 2-0, 20 innings pitched, ERA 2.5, 12 strikeouts. The number to watch, 10 walks in his appearances this year for the Springers. Here's one slapped down the left field line. It's down for a hit. It'll go near the corner. Rounding first, headed for second with the leadoff double is Joey Werner. And the Mudhens are in business early. Werner 0 for 4 against Chan last Sunday. Werner 1 for 5 against the Logators a week ago. And Werner 3 hits and 5 trips, 2 runs and an RBI, and then opening win over Coon Rapids. Here's one hit in the air to center field. It'll drop for a hit. Werner had to wait for a moment. He'll stop at third. Vanderbosch a solid single to center. And just like that, the Miesville Mudhens have a double, a single, and runners at the corners and nobody out. Here in the bottom of the first inning, Derek Marks will step in. Marks playing at third base today. Marks 1 for 4 against Chan last Sunday. 1 for 3 with a run in that game against Champlin Park. And in the opener, 0 for 4 against Coon Rapids. He showed bunt, but didn't offer. It is strike one to Derek Marks. Marks from Inver Grove. And an early threat. Cold Spring, the 2-run homer in the top of the first. If you're just joining us here on PrepSpotlight.tv, Jordan Barth deep to left. And now Pennick to the plate. 1-2. He gets ahead in the count here. But 2 hard hit balls. Werner down the left field line for a double. Vanderbosch to center for a single. There's one in the dirt, 2-2. Pretty good block there by the Cold Spring catcher, Drew Bolson. Here's one to hit off the handle towards short, charging, throwing, and getting the out. Marks retired 6-3. They get the RBI as Werner trots home from third. On the play, Vanderbosch goes into second. Now 1 away, 1 in. And a runner at second. That'll bring up Austin Ledoux. Ledoux playing at first base today for the Mudhens. Ledoux played left in that game against Chanhassen and was batting down in the 6 hole. He was 1 for 3 and had a run scored. The lone run of the game for the Mudhens. It was a big swing and a miss, strike 1. Ledoux 2 for 4, 2 RBI, 2 runs against the Low Gators. Here's a chopper wide at third. Over to grab Van Looy, but well, foul, 0-2. And then that Miesville opening game. Ledoux is 0 for 3 with an RBI. And when this baseball season got started, who knew we would end up here and be able to have a state tournament? Here's one hit high in the air to right field, but Joe Dempsey just moving to his left puts it away. Runner tags from second, headed for third, throw on the way, cut off, not in time. So Ledoux flies to right. Vanderbosch advances to third, and now it'll bring up Nate Hammes, the DH. Hammes caught against the Redbirds last Sunday, and he put up an 0 for 4 there. Hammes had a hit against Champlain Park a week ago and had 2 hits and 2 RBIs in that 5-0 win over Coon Rapids on opening weekend for the Mudhens. There's a curveball up high, ball 1. Leadoff double by Werner, comes around to score. Vanderbosch, the single, pushed him to third, and then the ground out. Here's one hit very hard to center field, but right at Grant Hansen. He backs up and puts it away. Well, Hammes smoked it. It's just allowed out. A run on 2 hits, and after 1, Cold Spring leading Miesville 2-1. Here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Popcorn, ballpark pretzels, candy, and great beverages, of course. You got 2 beer vendors, one down each line, hot water, everything.
And welcome back to the Joe in Shakopee on just a beautiful Saturday for baseball here at the State Amateur Baseball Tournament. We move to the top of the second inning for Cold Spring. Bottom third of their order, Brad Olson, Jaron Terrace, and Alex Jungles. And they're going to face Connor Malcolm. Malcolm got in the hot water for Miesville. An error behind him. Then the sacrifice bunt, then the two-run homer by Jordan Barth. Gave the Springers an early 2-1 lead. This one hit high in the air to center field. Vanderbosch, a little to his right, makes the catch, one away. That'll bring up Jaron Terrace. Terrace from Cold Spring, 6'2", 175. Terrace playing over at first base today.
First baseman, number 10, Jaron Terrace.
Terrace 2 hits, a run scored. And that loss to the Moorhead Brewers on Sunday. Terrace a couple of hits, and that win over Alco last Saturday. This one a rip foul. And then Terrace had an RBI, a run scored, in 2 plate appearances. And then big win over Anoka to start their state tournament on opening weekend. Hard to believe 2 weeks ago. I've been here every weekend. I can't thank the hospitality here at the Joe. Just a phenomenal job. And it's been fun to follow them on Twitter and look at the history of the ballpark over the years, from the humble beginnings to where we stand today. One of the great ballparks here in Minnesota. This one hit, falling out of play, coming over Morris to the screen. Does he have room? He does! What a catch. And a great shot there by Mike Peterson. Morris, a whale of a play to get Terrace. That was a phenomenal catch. And that is a tough chance coming over toward the screen. And there is a lot of room here at the Joe in those corners because you have the wide grandstand. So there is a fair amount of foul territory. That's going to bring up Alex Jungles, the DH, for the Springers. Jungles had 4 hits in that loss to the Brewers. A couple of RBIs in that game, so a good day a week ago, or 6 days ago, and that losing effort to the Moorhead Brewers 6-5. Jungles had a hit a week ago against Elko. And an opening weekend in the DH spot, went 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. So Jungles has been productive as a designated hitter in this state tournament. And there's one outside now, 3-0. 2 away, nobody aboard. For Cold Spring here in the top of inning number 2. And there's a walk, first of the game, given up by Malcolm. For the Springers, 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. Miesville, 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 error. And we go to the top of the order, and Grant Hansen reached on that error and scored on the 2-run homer by Jordan Barth to give Cold Spring the early 2-0 lead. Hardly a breeze here today. The wind not a factor. Here's one fouled to the screen. Strike 1. The pitching in this tournament has generally been very good. And you look at the pitching we saw on Friday night in Chanhasen's victory over the Moorhead Brewers 4-2 to send them into Sunday's championship bracket. And Chan just needs to win 1 on Sunday to claim their 3rd straight B title here in the state of Minnesota. There's one outside. 2-1. And I like the structure of this tournament. If you're able to get your way into this final weekend, you have a fighting chance. You need a lot of pitching. There's a curveball or a fastball inside 3-1. 3-1 now the count. The runner at first is Jungles. There are 2 away. Action continues in Class C here on PrepSpotlight.tv. There's a good fastball outside corner, 3-2. To Grant Hansen, the leadoff hitter for Cold Spring, his second plate appearance. Already in this game. Second game scheduled to start at 4. And there's a called strike at the letters. He rings up Hansen. First strikeout there for Malcolm. Malcolm doesn't like it. So, Cold Spring, no runs, no hits, and one left on base after 1.5. Cold Spring leading Miesville 2-1 here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Here we go to the bottom of the second inning. Miesville trailing 2-1. It'll be 6, 7, and 8. Max Morris, Brian Sprout, and Max Gam. Morris, the catcher, Sprout at second base. Gam playing at shortstop today. Morris from Woodbury.
Second for Miesville. Number 6, the catcher. Number 2, Max Morris.
Morris played at third base, went 0 for 3 against Chan last Sunday. And then against Champlin Park, Morris was in left field, had a hit. Then was in left in the opener against Coon Rapids and went 2 for 4 in that game. He also had a walk on the day against the Coon Rapids Redbirds. Nick Pennick, one hopper to second. Fox up with it, throw to first in time. Morris retired 4-3. Garrett Fox, one big hop. That'll bring up Brian Sprout playing at second base. Sprout for the Mudhens.
22, Brian Sprout.
Sprout didn't have an at-bat against Chanhassen last Sunday. Did DH against Champlin Park. And had a good game, 1 for 4. A run scored, 2 RBI. And Sprout didn't appear in the game against Coon Rapids. So Sprout getting an opportunity today. And here's one hit just foul outside of third. Hit it hard, but it was foul. And the count 1-1 to Sprout. A bit of a breeze for the moment. Not a lot of wind expected today at all. The only weather delay we had the opening Friday night of the state tournament. Chanhassen against St. Michael, a rain delay. They came back, and then they called it as another front came through. Big winds. They completed that game on Sunday night. There's a swing and a miss. Now 2-2 to Sprout. And that the weather has been pretty good. We've had some heat and humidity here at the Joe, for sure. There's one down in the dirt now, 3-2. Panic's pitch, right back up the middle into center field, a solid hit. One out hit for Sprout. And the third for the Mudhens in the game, and that'll bring up Max Gam playing at shortstop.
Shortstop, number 99, Max
Gam in the 8-hole. Batted ninth against Chanhassen last Sunday, went 0 for 3. Had a hit against Champlin Park a week ago. And here's one hit to third. Van Looy to second for one, on to first. Double play around the horn. 5-4-3. And Cold Spring out of the inning. So, no runs, one hit, no errors, and nobody left. Two complete. Cold Spring leading Miesville 2-1 here on Prep Spotlight.tv.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. The memories.
Down on three at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
We move to inning number 3 here at the Joe. Final weekend of the State B. Miesville and Cold Spring. Cold Spring 2 in the first. Miesville answers with 1 in the bottom of the first. Here we are in the top of the third, and for the Springers, Garrett Fox, Jordan Barth, and Joe Dempsey, 2, 3, and 4. And that Springer lineup. Fox had sacrifice bunt in the first inning. Curveball strike 1 by Malcolm. He has a strikeout and walk in 2 innings plus of work now. And here's one to the screen, 0-2. The error on Gam in the first came around to score on the 2-run homer by Barth. Giving up some hard hit balls, but here he goes in the third. There's one outside. Now 1-2. Trying to get Fox to chase. There's another one outside. Good block by Morris as he slid out. And now 2-2 the count. Well, Chanhassen trying for their third title, and they'll get that chance in game 1 tomorrow at 1 o'clock. They have 2 opportunities to win it. Tomorrow, their third in a row. Here's a high fly ball on the infield. Ledoux waiting for it, puts it away, 1 away. That'll bring up Jordan Barth at shortstop. That long 2-run home run to left in the first inning so far is the difference in the ball game. But Chanhassen had to work Friday night and Sunday night opening win to hold off St. Michael's 7-5. Then they beat Northfield 5-4. Then they take down Miesville last Sunday 2-1. And then they beat Moorhead 4-2. So the Redbirds have been getting phenomenal pitching. John Straka is 3-0 in this state tournament. There's a strike, 1-1. So the Redbirds on the brink of another title. And there's one just outside now. 2-1. But St. Michael pushed them all the way to the limit on opening weekend. Now there's a strike, 2-2. St. Michael's quite a story. They had a tough regular season, but got hot at section time and took down the Blaine Fusion, who in the final poll was ranked number 4. They were playing great ball and gave the Redbirds all they wanted. But now Chan a big advantage and can maybe bring Strzok back again tomorrow. Here's a fly ball to center field coming on, making the catch Vanderbosch. It was a high fly ball, but he had plenty of time to get under it. And now 2 away, nobody aboard. That'll bring up Joe Dempsey. He had that double and then was retired 6'5", He got caught in a rundown trying to move to third on Drew Bolson's. Fly ball. Actually, ground ball. It was a ground ball to Gam, and Gam went to third. And got Dempsey in that rundown. Big swing and a miss, now 1-1. Here's one hit in the air, but foul. Lands on the roof above our head. This grandstand originally had, the way I understand it, some of the concrete slabs from the old Met, and originally the old seats from the old Met. Now it has seats from the old Metrodome. Fly ball into shallow right center. The second baseman sprout out to catch. 3 up, 3 down for Cold Spring in the top of the third. After 2.5, the Springers lead the Mudhens 2-1 here on Prep Spotlight.tv. Last summer's Emmy-nominated documentary Town Ball, Uniquely Minnesota, now available on Amazon Prime. Watch all 8 episodes to learn about the more than 100-year history of amateur baseball in Minnesota. Steve Thompson here, along with camera operator Mike Peterson on Prep Spotlight.tv. Gorgeous day for a ball game, and we're so glad he could join us. We move to the bottom of the third inning, and for Miesville, 9-1-2. Brendan McKibbett, Joey Werner, and Matt Vanderbosch up for the Mudhens, trailing 2-1. And Cold Springs pitcher and starter Nick Pennick. Pennick's given up a run on 3 hits so far in the ball game. McKevitt from Woodbury, 5'10", 160 pounds. Looks at strike one. There's a curveball, strike two. Good curveball there by Pennick. McKevitt didn't appear last Sunday against Chanhassen. Now ball 1, 1-2 to McKevitt, the leadoff hitter for the Mudhens, bottom of the third. Down low now, 2-2. Didn't have a bat a week ago against Champlin Park. So his first at bat of the state tournament here for Brendan McKevitt. Here's one toward short. Barth up, throw in time. McKevitt retired 6-3, and that'll bring up Joey Werner. Werner had a leadoff double and scored. Miesville's only run in the top of the first inning. Werner playing in right field today. Here's one hit high down the left field line, and that'll drift out of play. Giving a look, Brad Olson, the left fielder for Cold Spring, couldn't get near it. It goes into those spruce trees. Now those pines you see outside the batter's eye, they call it the Black Monster in center field here at the Joe. Planted in the 80s. Some of those trees pushing 50 feet high. And once again, it's fun to follow them on Twitter and all the history of the Joe and how it started and how it continues to evolve into one of the great venues here in the state. And the pitch down in the dirt, 2-1. 2-1 to Joey Werner. Second man to come up here in the third inning for the Mudhens. He is their leadoff hitter. Matt Vanderbosch waiting on deck. This one chopped foul over toward the Miesville dugout on the first base side. Crowd's limited during the pandemic to 250. Each team gets an allotment of tickets. And after each game, the fans need to leave the ballpark and then re-enter. Here's a shot towards second. Fox can't handle it. Into right field. Werner trying for two and he'll get there. He makes Fox pay for that error. Hard hit ball. It ate him up. And Werner hustling all the way to second. And the Mudhens have a runner at second. And one out, and that'll bring up Matt Vanderbosch, who has a single. That single pushed Werner to third. And then Marks grounded out for the RBI. So Vanderbosch digs in with the runner in scoring position and one away. Throw to second. And the shortstop Barra sneaks in behind Werner. That was an error. Error all the way. So errors are even at one apiece. And Panic checks a runner. Inside and low, ball one. Minnesota Baseball Association proud to present the 2020 state tournaments. Follow along on the website at mnbaseball.org or on Twitter at MinBaseball, M-I-N-N Baseball. That's on Twitter at MinBaseball. 2-0 on the count. A runner at second and one away. Bottom of the third. Smash, foul down the first base line. Terrace came over and took a look, but well, foul, now 2-1. Derek Marks waiting on deck. Playing at third base today for the Mudhens. Two and one the count, one away, runner at second, the pitch. All back, 2-2. You have to wonder if the Janhazen Redbirds are at the ballpark today. Here's one hit over toward first, grabbed by Terrace, throws to the pitcher covering to get the out. Good play there. 3-1 to get Vanderbosch. And on that, Werner moves all the way over to third. So now a runner at third base for the Mudhens, two away, and the batter will be Derek Marks. He grounded out to short in the first, picked up an RBI. And a hit here will certainly tie the game. This one hit in the air to right field. Dempsey over, makes the catch. Side retired. So Miesville gets a runner on via the error, but does not score. And after three complete, Cold Spring leads at 2-1 here on PrepSpotlight.tv. And let's get some highlights from the state tournament here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Running for a base hit. Morris now backs up. Arnold serves one into left, and that's a base hit. And Chanhassen takes the lead right back. 0-1 to Halleck. Back and off the foot of the pitcher. It bounces towards left field. Kolpak coming home. The throw to the plate. Not in time. The game is tied at 5. The 1-2 pitch. Base hit right field. That'll do it. Matt Oy comes up and pokes one through the drawn-in infield. And the Moorhead Brewers win it 6-5 in 10 innings. Fires this one, driven to center field. Back is Rucker. Does he do it again? Yes, he does! 3 home runs for Duffner! And it's 10-3, Cold Spring. Unbelievable! Runs scored here today. Here's the 2-2. Strike 3, another one gone. McCoy Rodney goes down on strikes, and there's 2 away now.
On to inning number 4 for Cold Spring. Catcher Drew Olson.
For the Springers, catcher
Then Drew Van Looy and Brad Olson. It'll be 5, 6, and 7 for the Springers. Here against Connor Malcolm, the Miesville starter. He has settled down. Springers 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Here's a fly ball coming over to take a look. Ledoux, does he have room? He does. Plenty of foul territory outside the dugouts here at the Joe. And Bolson is retired. 1 away, and that'll bring up Drew Van Looy.
third baseman Drew Van Looy.
He popped out to first in the first to end the inning. There's one down low, ball 1. Looks like the weather will cooperate for the final weekend of the Class B and Class C tournaments. Keep our fingers crossed because it looks like a chilly week next week. There's a strike. Now 2-1 to Van Looy. Down low, 3-1. Van Looy playing over at third base for the Springers. There's a strike. Not a lot of movement on that flag between the scoreboard and the batter's eye. And on the 3-2, a little inside and a walk. That is the second walk given up by Malcolm, the Miesville starter.
Left fielder Brad Olson.
Olson, a fly ball to center field. Vanderbosch hauls it in. A 1 pitch, outside 1-1. Cold Springs collected a lot of hits in this tournament. They had 2 hits in the first inning. Here's one hit towards second. Sprout grabs to second for 1, on to first. Not in time. Well, they get the lead runner. And Laura retired 4-6. Olson reaches on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Jaron Terrace over at first. And he popped out to the catcher. A fine play by the catcher, Matt Morris. So Sprout to Gam. Gam's relay to Ledoux. Not in time. But 2 away and a runner at first. And the right-hander Malcolm will work against right-handed batting Terrace. That is inside, ball 1. After a shaky start, Malcolm's been better. And here's one up the middle. Getting there is Gam. Flips to second, and Sprout in time. And they get the lead runner there, 6-4. So, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. And after 3.5, it's still Cold Spring leading at 2-1 here on Prep Spotlight.tv. And let's get you some more highlights from the state tournament here on Prep Spotlight.tv.
This one driven to the gap in left center field. It's a deep ball, and it's going to land, and it's gone! A 2-run home run for Cold Spring. Duffner makes it a 2-0 game here in the top of the first inning. Driven to right, Call watches it go over his head. Back-to-back 2-run homers for the first baseman, Duffner. Austin Duffner makes it 5-0 Cold Spring. 1 strike on Duffner as Weiss kicks and fires this one. Driven to center field. Back is Rucker. Does he do it again? Yes, he does! 3 home runs for Duffner.
and it's 10-3 Cold Spring. Unbelievable. My goodness.
First baseman, Austin Ledoux.
On to the bottom of the fourth for Miesville. Cleanup hitter Austin Ledoux. In the 5-hole, Nate Hammis, the DH. And the catcher, Max Morris. They trail 2-1. And Nick Pennick, the starter for Cold Spring, begins his fourth inning of work with ball one. Ledoux will fly ball to right in the first. Miesville has had a runner in every inning. But Pennick got that 5-4-3 round the horn double play to end inning number 2 after Brian Sprout had a one-out hit. Here's one chopped toward third. Van Looy over, grabs, throws. Got him. Good play by Van Looy. Had to go a long way to get that one throw on the run to get Ledoux 5-3. And that'll bring up Nate Hammis, who's out on a fly ball to center field in the first.
Designated hitter, Nate Hammis.
Hammis from Lake Elmo, 6'1", 210. Veteran player. Looks at ball one. That one misses, 2-0. Springers 2 runs, 2 hits, 1 error. Mudhens 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. And now a strike 2-1. That one fouled to the screen, 2-2. The winner of this game gets another one at 4 o'clock against some Moorhead Brewers, and then the winner of that game advances to tomorrow at 1 to play Chanhassen. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout. He reached at an outside pitch, and that is strikeout number 1 for Pennick. He hasn't walked anybody and notches his first strikeout. Now nobody on, 2 away, and the batter will be Max Morris, the catcher. He grounded out to second in inning number 2. That one's in there, strike 1. Inside and tight, 1-1. 2020 Amateur Baseball Tournament action brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association and your friends here at PrepSpotlight.tv, 2-1. And, of course, presented to you by Xfinity, Xfinity X1, the hub for all things sports with the Xfinity Sports Zone, and Wings Financial, we're for people like you. Here's one to hit in the air to right field. That's down for a hit. Over to retrieve Joe Dempsey, the right field. But a solid 2-out single for Max Morris. That'll be the 4th hit for the Mudhens. And with 1 on and 2 away, that'll bring up Brian Sprout. He hit a single in inning number 2. He was retired on that 5-4-3 double play and the inning. And a good job by Morris as he just strokes that to right. Good swing, solid hit. Curveball, strike 1. Good pitch by Pennick. Hit in the air, but foul. All out of play. 0-2 now. The Brian Sprout playing at second base for Miesville. If he can find a way to reach, it would bring up Max Gamm, the shortstop. He hit into that 5-4-3 double play to end the second. There's one outside. Drew Bolson, the catcher, stabs it. Now 1-2. Game moving right along. Not quite an hour in. There's outside 2-2. You wonder if Miesville will go to, if they're able to prevail in this game and come back and win, will they go to Jake Dickmeyer in game 2 today? Remains to be seen. They've still got to take care of business here. There's a foul out of play. And the count rides along at 2-2. 2 outs, runner at first. Bottom of the 4th inning. Both teams scoring in inning number 1. Pennick from the stretch. Outside 3-2. Looks like just the second full count of the game. He has not walked a batter so far. He's only struck out 1. This pitch hit in the air. Caught on the run by Fox. Nice running play as he snares that soft line drive to his left. So, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. After 4 complete, Cold Spring still leads it here on PrepSpotlight.tv. Top of inning number 5 coming up. Connor Malcolm out taking his warm-up tosses for Miesville. Catcher Max Morris resetting that infield for the Mudhens. Marks at third, Gam at short. Sprout at second, Ledoux over at first. In the outfield, McKevitt in left, Vanderbosch in center, and Werner in right. Due up for Cold Spring here in the top of the 5th. DH Alex Jungles, into the top of the order, Grant Hansen and Garrett Fox for the Cold Spring Springers, who are clinging to a 2-1 lead, a lead they had after 1, and now they have here in the top of the 5th inning. But Malcolm has settled down pretty nicely. And here's one on the infield, softly hit, no chance. That's going to go as an infield hit for Jungles. Didn't get a lot of it, almost a swinging bunt. No error there. That'll be the 3rd hit for the Springers. They had the 2-run shot by Barth and a double in the 1st. That is their first hit since the 1st. And now Grant Hansen, the center fielder. He reached on an error and scored on Barth's 2-run home run and struck out in the 2nd. So he's coming to the plate for the 3rd time in the game. There's one down in the dirt. Good block by Morris. Ball 1. Leadoff single for Jungles. And this one smacked into the gap in right center field. This will go all the way to the fence. Runner around second, headed for 3rd. And they're going to put up the stop sign there. And Jungles will scramble back into 3rd. But a booming double for Hansen to the gap in right center field. And the Springers have runners at 2nd and 3rd and nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Hansen a rope to the gap.
Second baseman Garrett Fox.
And now it's Fox playing at second base. Had the sacrifice in the 1st and then popped out to 1st in the 3rd. He's got an opportunity here to extend that Cold Spring lead. And the pitch from Malcolm. Don't see any activity in the Miesville bullpen down to our right. Infield hit, and then the double. And Cold Spring's in business here in the 5th. Outside and low, 1-1. To Fox. Shortstop Barth waiting on deck. Barth, a no-doubter in the first. 3:30 down the lines here at the Joe. 3:55 to the power alleys. And this one hit in the air to right field. Can Werner make the play? He does. Runner tags from third. Here's a throw coming into the plate. It'll be up the line. Run scores. 3-1 Cold Spring. Well, Fox, sac fly RBI. Plates jungles. Hanson will stay at second. And now with one in, one on, and one away, it'll bring up Jordan Barth, the shortstop. 2-run homer in the first, and then a fly ball to center field for an out in the third. Way outside, ball one. Yeah, the crank of the bat on the Barth home run left no doubt. That one, the left fielder, McKivitt, gave it a look, but it was well out of here. This one hit to third, stabbed by Marks. Up, throw in time. What a play by Derek Marks at third base. That is a web gem at any level. Beautiful play by Derek Marks. That'll bring up Joe Dempsey, the right fielder. He had a double in his first at-bat in the first, and then popped out to Brian Sprout at second base. Dempsey 1 for 2. The runner is still at second base. (3-1) our score. There's ball one to Dempsey. Fastball low and away, 2-0. Check the runner. Malcolm stepped off. And now he's ready to go. 2-0 the count, 2 out. 1 in, and a runner at second base. There's one outside, gets away from the catcher. Runner tries to advance, and he will. That one just gets by the catcher. And now Hanson at third base with 2 away. And the count 3-0 to Dempsey. We'll see what Malcolm does here. They're going to give him anything to hit on 3-0. He gets the outside corner for a strike. That's a good pitch. And you figure Dempsey's taken all the way in that spot. 3-1 on the way. And that is a delayed strike call at the knees. Dempsey shaking his head, doesn't like that. Now the count is full. Dempsey thought he had a walk, which would have put runners at the corners. 3-2, 2 out. Runner at third for Cold Spring, top of the 5th. The pitch hit towards short. Gam can't come up with it. The run will score. That'll be an error on Gam. Hanson will score the second run of the inning. And now it's 4-1 Cold Spring. Got to bring up Drew Bolson. Bolson reached on a fielder's choice in the first and then fouled out to first base an inning ago. There's strike one. You haven't seen the error on the board yet. Runner goes down in the dirt, throw well wide out into right center field. And now they're going to wave the runner to third. That'll be a stolen base. And then an error on the catcher. Second error of the inning on the Mudhens, third in the game. And now Cold Spring, an opportunity to extend the lead. They already have 2 in. They lead it 4-1. They have a runner at third base and their catcher at the plate. Can he make the Mudhens play or pay for those errors? There's one outside. And now 1-1 the count. There's a strike, 2-2. Last Sunday, the Mudhens didn't commit any errors in the loss to the Redbirds, 2-1. They had 2 in the win over Champlain Park. Here's one toward Gam at short. Scoops, throws, in the dirt. What a dig by Ledoux at first. Nice play. But Cold Spring gets a couple, and after 4.5, they lead at 4-1 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
2 runs on 2 hits, 2 errors.
It is the bottom of the 5th. Cold Spring leading Miesville 4-1. The totals: Cold Spring 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Miesville 1 run, 4 hits, and 3 errors. 2 of them coming in that last half. And now for the Mudhens, they'll get 8, 9, and 1. Shortstop Max Gam. Right fielder Brendan McKivitt. Or left fielder Brendan McKivitt. And right fielder Joey Werner. So Gam, McKivitt, and Werner for Miesville. As they try to get something going here in the middle innings of the ball game. Nick Pennick still on the mound. He's the starter for Cold Spring. Drew Olson behind the plate. And the outfield, Olson in left, Hanson in center, Dempsey in right. The infield, Van Looy at third, Barth at short, Fox at second, and Terrace at first. Cold Spring wearing maroon, Miesville the navy tops. And it's strike 1 to Gam. Here's one hit foul outside of third. Gam 2 errors in the game. An error an inning ago, and then an error on the leadoff batter back in the first. Gam hits one high down the left field line, going back. Olson to the fence. What a catch at the wall! Runs into the fence and hangs on to it. Beautiful catch by Olson. Goes to the fence to rob Gam of extra bases. Tremendous play. And now that's going to bring up Brendan McKivitt. Out in left field, grounded out to short. Gam now is hit into a 5-4-3 double play and then robbed on a fly ball to the fence. That wouldn't have gone over the fence, but with Gam's speed, certainly would have been extra bases. Here's one slapped by the third baseman, Van Looy, into right field. Got it by Van Looy. That's a 1-out single for McKivitt. And that'll bring up Joey Werner, the leadoff hitter and right fielder. Had a double, scored a run in the first. Reached on an error in the third. So now Miesville, 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th. Great shot by our camera operator, Mike Peterson, on that catch at the fence. Curveball inside and low, ball 1. We just have so many great camera operators here at PrepSpotlight.tv. Magicians with one camera. Being able to bring you the action. There's a strike. And there's definitely been some unhappiness with the home plate umpire on both sides. 1-1 now, and the batter is Werner. This one hit in the air, and that one's going to go foul, just foul. Olsen came over. A couple of feet foul out there. And the count now 1-2. Gam to the fence. Great catch by Brad Olsen for Cold Spring. And McKivitt, the single by third base. And now Werner at the plate, 1-2. Winner will play the Moorhead Brewers, scheduled for a 4 o'clock start here at the Joe. And then the winner of that game will take on Chanhassen tomorrow in a double elimination championship format. Chan just needs to win one. Here's one, a hit on the air in the infield. Coming over, Van Looy makes a catch in front of his own dugout. And a hustle there by Van Looy. And now with a runner on and 2 away, that'll bring up Matt Vanderbosch, as center fielder. Single in the first and grounded out to first base in the third inning. He's 1 for 2. Drew Van Looy, good play on the run. And there's plenty of foul territory here at the Joe, as we mentioned, and you can see it there. I wouldn't say it's quite the Oakland Coliseum, but generous foul territory, especially outside of the dugouts. There is room. The pitch by Panic, chopped towards second. Grabbed by the first baseman, throwing to the pitcher, covering. A good fundamental play there as Terrace fed Panic. 3-1 on the putout. And that'll retire the Mudhens. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We have played 5. Cold Spring still leads it here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. The memories.
Down on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
All right, baseball fans, let's play some baseball trivia.
We move to inning number 6 here at the Joe in Shakopee, final weekend of the State Class B Amateur Baseball Tournament, and a delightful day for a ball game. I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather be. If I was at home, I'd be doing chores out in the yard. That's not bad, but being at a ball game here at the Joe is a whole lot better. And thanks so much for joining us here on PrepSpotlight.tv. And I want you to remember that the Minnesota Baseball Association is proud to present the 2020 state tournaments. Follow along on the website at mnbaseball.org. That's mnbaseball.org. Or join them on Twitter at MinBaseball, MINN Baseball. Steve Thompson, camera operator Mike Peterson. And we go to the top of the 6th inning. Drew Van Looy, Brad Olsen, and Jaron Terrace. 6, 7, and 8 for Cold Spring. They lead at 4-1. And strike one. And Connor Malcolm, the Miesville starter. Springer's 4 runs, 4 hits, 1 error. Miesville 1 run, 5 hits, and 3 errors. There's a big swing and a miss, and Van Looy quickly in an 0-2 hole. Van Looy, a fly ball to first, and then walked in the 4th. Was ultimately retired on a fielder's choice, 4-6. 1-2 now the count. There's one upstairs, 2-2. Connor Malcolm done a pretty good job here in this game from Woodbury. Jake Dickmeyer, their ace. And here's one hit in the air to center field for a solid hit. Vanderbosch will trot in. And that'll be a leadoff single. And the 5th hit for the Springers. They had 2 in the first, including the 2-run homer by Barth. They added 2 singles in the 5th. And now they have a leadoff man aboard here. They were retired once, 1, 2, 3, and that was in the 3rd. And now it's left fielder Brad Olson. Fly ball to center field. He reached on a fielder's choice and was retired 6-4 in the 4th. That was to end the inning. There's a strike. To start Olson off. Olson, though, great catch against the fence to rob Max Gam of extra bases to lead off the top half, or I should say the bottom half of the 5th inning. That was a great catch. Here's Olson squaring to bunt, looks at one outside, 1-1. It's a little shaken up after running into the fence. There's a windscreen material on that outfield fence here at the Joe. There's a bunt laid down, catcher out of there. Morris goes to second for the force. Got him. What a play by Morris. That was beautiful. They get the lead runner 2-6. Olson will reach on the fielder's choice. One away. That'll bring up Terrace. Terrace popped out to the catcher. Morris made a nice play over by the Miesville dugout to put him away. Right up against the screen, caught it. And then Terrace was at the plate to end the 4th. He hit a ground ball, and the runner on base, Brad Olson, was retired 6-4. So out on a fielder's choice. And here is Terrace. Curveball, strike 1. Good curveball by Malcolm. Heads-up play, though, by Morris a moment ago. That bunt in front of the plate was all the way down to second to get the lead runner, and now a check throw over. Diving back in is Olson. A layer of very thin clouds today. We expect the humidity to ramp up. There's a swing and a miss, now 0-2. Malcolm hasn't struck. No, he has 1 strikeout looking in the 2nd inning. Just 1 strikeout. There's one hit in the air to right field. That'll be a hit. He goes the other way and drops it in. Runner around second, headed for 3rd. And Cold Spring now has runners at the corners and 1 out here in the 6th inning. Terrace goes the other way. And now it'll bring up Alex Jungles, the DH. He walked in the 2nd, had a single and scored in the 5th. And now we've got a trip to the mound. And Mark Moriarty out on the mound to talk things over with the starter Connor Malcolm. Catcher out there, first baseman in. That's Ledoux. The catcher's Morris. They're sorting out the strategy here.
Jose Rosado. Congratulations to Jeff, as he was actually at Kaufman Stadium to witness that 3,000 hit.
So Van Looy led it off with a single, then was retired 2-6, and Olson reached on the fielder's choice. Now Olson all the way around to 3rd on the single to right field by Terrace. And now Jungles will dig in with an opportunity to give Cold Spring the lead. The Springers 2 runs in the 1st, and they had 2 in the 5th. And now they're bidding for more here in the 6th. Not much movement in the flag. It has not been a factor and shouldn't be all day. Here's one upstairs, ball 1. It back jungles away a little bit. 1-0 the count. That's one out. Outside corner, 1-1. Delayed call by the home plate umpire. 1-1. One away, runners at first and second here. Cold Spring batting top of the 6th inning, trying to extend their lead. Here's a curveball hit on the air. Shallow right field, going out. Sprout makes a catch. Back to the infield. Runner from third tags and bluffs, and Sprout's going to run it in. Good play by Sprout to retire Jungles. And runners remain at the corners with 2 away, and that's going to bring up center fielder Grant Hansen for Cold Spring. He reached on an error, scored on the 2-run home run by Barth in the first, struck out in the second, and then doubled and scored in the 5th. So here's Hansen with an opportunity to pick up an RBI or more. Throw over to first, runner jumps back. High throw brought down by Ledoux. Malcolm from the stretch. Way outside, blocked in the dirt by Morris. It just squirted to the side. That was a good play, though, by Morris to not let him get by. That would have made it 5-1 Cold Spring. He saved a run there for sure. 1-0 the count now to Hansen. Malcolm. Off-speed pitch catches the corner. That was a good one. Good breaking ball. Hansen let it fly. 1-1 now the count. This one fouled to the screen, 1-2. This would be big for Miesville to be able to get out of this without any damage. Garrett Fox waiting on deck for the Springers if we get that far. Runners at first and third, 1-2 the count, 2 away. Out in the dirt, runner goes, throw down to second. In time on a hop. Morris throws him out. So Cold Spring threatens but does not score, and after 5.5, they still lead here on Prep Spotlight.tv.
Summary for Cold Spring, top of the 6th.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning here. Final weekend of the Class B Amateur Baseball Tournament at Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee. Steve Thompson, along with camera operator Mike Peterson, here on PrepSpotlight.tv. We have activity in that Miesville bullpen. Chris O'Lean, right-handed pitcher from Vadnais Heights. So we could see a pitching change for Miesville when we go to the 7th. But Miesville trailing 4-1, trying to get back into this game with 3, 4, and 5 here in the 6th. Derek Marks, Austin Ledoux, and Nate Hammes against Nick Pennick, the Cold Spring starter. beginning his 6th inning of work. Pennick's given up a run on 5 hits. He's struck out 1. And he hasn't walked anybody so far. So Marks, good defensive plays over at third base. Grounded out to short for an RBI in the first and a fly ball to right in the third. 0 for 2, but an RBI. And the lone RBI for Miesville in the game. So plenty of time for the Mud Hens. The winner gets the Moorhead Brewers at 4 o'clock. The loser is done for the year. Then the winner of our second game today will play Chanhassen tomorrow at 1 for the Class B title. If the Redbirds win it, they're the champs. If they lose, they would play a second game tomorrow afternoon here at the Joe. That'll close out the 2020 Class B season. Pennick's pitch. Outside 2-1. No activity in that Cold Spring bullpen. Here's a curveball way up in the zone. Marks waves at it and misses. 2-2. Pennick's done a nice job for Cold Spring. And when you're trying to come back, there's a 1 hopper to second. Fox throw to first, plenty of time. Marks retired 4-3. And with 1 away and nobody aboard, that'll bring up Austin Ledoux playing over at first. For the Mud Hens, a fly ball to right in the first and grounded out to third in the fourth. But pitching is key, and it'll be big for either team to get through this game without burning up a lot of arms, because you got to come right back and play again today. There's a fastball inside and high. 1-0 to Ledoux. So while trying to win and preserve pitching, here's a ground ball up the middle, knocked down by Pennick, shoveled to Barth, and that kind of falls to the infield dirt. That'll go as a hit for Ledoux. Fox tried to shovel to Barth, but that didn't connect. 6 hit for the Mud Hens. They had 2 in the first, 1 in the second, a hit in the fourth, and a hit in the fifth. And now they had a hit with 1 out here in the 6th. That'll bring up Nate Hammis, a DH. Fly ball to center field in the first, struck out in the fourth. The only strikeout victim for Cold Spring starter Nick Pennick. Pennick delivers. Time was called, though. No pitch. That will not count. Erase that from your memory banks. That didn't happen. There's a curveball, and that does miss. That one does count. 1-0. State tournament doesn't happen without a great facility, and they have that here at the Joe and a great staff. And there's a strike, 1-1. But all the volunteers that make the state tournament work. The PA, the clock, the concessions, brats, burgers, hot dogs, cold beverages. There's one on the outside hedge, 2-1. Or 1-2 now the count. Excuse me, 1-2 to Hammis. Runner at first and 1 away. As Miesville trying to battle back. Here's one hit in the air to right field, coming on Dempsey. Makes the dive and grabs it. Kind of a, actually not a dive, kind of a slide to haul it in. But it is recorded as an out. And that'll bring up Max Morris, the catcher. He had a single in the fourth. Grounded out to second in inning number 2. He's 1 for 2. 2 away and a runner at first for the Mud Hens here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Pennick's pitch, a strike. Anthony's 0-1. A little movement out of the flag, but not anything concerning. 1 to Morris, catching and wearing number 2. I've said it before. The synergy stands out for me. Runner goes, pitch to the plate, throw down to second. Got him! 2-6. Ledoux thrown out. So Morris will start the 7th for the Mudhens. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and no one left. 6 in the books. And Cold Spring leads Miesville here at the State Amateur Baseball Tournament on PrepSpotlight.tv.
What's special about high school sports? The passion, the excitement, the memories.
Down on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! DuBois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community, connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
We have a new pitcher for Miesville here to start the top of the 7th inning. That'll be Chris O'Lean. We mentioned he was warming up at the bullpen. O'Lean from Vadnais Heights. So O'Lean, a right-hander, will come in relief of Connor Malcolm. Malcolm will exit after 6 innings. 4 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors behind him. That certainly didn't help the Malcolm cause for the Miesville Mudhens. Garrett Hansen was at the plate when Jaron Terrace was caught stealing to end the 6th. So it will be the top of the order, Grant Hansen, Garrett Fox, and Jordan Barth for Cold Spring here in the 7th inning as they lead at 4-1. Max Morris, the catcher, out to O'Lean to go over the signs and make sure everyone's on the same page. Miesville down by 3, trying to keep it that way here in the 7th. Hansen reached on an error and scored in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd, doubled and scored in the 5th. Was at the plate in the 6th when that base runner was caught stealing. Curveball, strike 1. I'm not sure if that caught the outside part of the plate or he offered at it. It's an in-betweener. Nevertheless, strike 1. O'Lean's pitch hit in the air to center field. It chased Matt Vanderbosch back toward the track, makes the catch. Oh, Hansen will fly ball to deep center field. That'll bring up Garrett Fox playing at second base. Fox, a sacrifice in the 1st, popped out to 1st in the 3rd, and then had a sac fly RBI to right in the 5th. One away, nobody aboard for Cold Spring. Top of the 7th, we're sailing right along. O'Lean's pitch, strike 1. Morris behind the plate, Marks at 3rd. Gam at short, Sprout at 2nd, Ledoux at 1st. From left to right, McKivitt, Vanderbosch, and Werner for the Miesville Mudhens. Now 1-1 to Fox. Outside 2-1. Been trying to get that edge, and on the last 2 hasn't been able to get it. The 2-1. Foul over the Miesville dugout, not a play, look out. Over there by the hamburgers, hot dogs, and brats, fresh off the grill. The nice touch, the grilled onions. curveball just missing inside. Grandstand umpires didn't like that. And now 3-2 the count. One away, nobody aboard for Cold Spring here in the top of the 7th. This one fouled well out of play. And the count rides along at 3-2. Limited attendance for all the state tournaments. Class A over at St. Anthony Village. Class B here in Shakopee, and then Class C in Springfield and Milleroy. But all the sites have done a very good job managing things here in this challenging year of 2020. Here's one on the ground and into right field, a base hit. So Fox goes the other way. Has another hit for Cold Spring. One away, one on. That'll bring up Jordan Barth. Barth hit the long 2-run homer in the first inning to get Cold Spring on the board. Fly ball to center field, then grounded out to third in the 5th. He is 1 for 3 with a 2-run home run in the ball game. He has a runner on base. A number 3 hitter for Cold Spring. Most of the players on their roster from Cold Spring. You have Kimball, Richmond, Sartell, St. Joe, and some guys from St. Cloud. But for the most part, the Springers are from Cold Spring. There's time called, and then lobbing it all the way to the backstop was O'Lean. Time called late, and 1-0 the count to Barth. Here's one smashed, foul. Outside of third. Marks over for a look. The home plate umpire quickly rules foul ball. 1-1 the count. Springers had 2 hits an inning ago. They had one here. They've had 7 total in the game. 2 hits in the first, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. Their 7th hit of the game coming here in inning number 7. O'Lean to the belt and delivers. Here's a high fly ball to left field. McKevitt back to the fence, and it's gone into the pine trees. Another 2-run homer, and Cold Spring leads it 6-1. Fox scores in front. Barth touches home plate. A 2-run shot. 6-1 ball game.
Another free picture of Aqua beer for Jordan Barth.
Well, Barth, what a day. 2-run homer in the first. 2-run homer here in the 7th. And now it'll bring up Joe Dorsey with 1 away and nobody aboard. Barth having a game for the Springers. There's a curveball. Strike. Now 0-2. Inside 1-2. So Barth's first home run in the first off Connor Malcolm. Here in the 7th off Chris O'Lean. And that one down in the dirt, skips by. 2-2. Doesn't matter, nobody on base. Barth's first home run of the game in the first, a no-doubter. That one where there's some question. Here's a chopper to short, grabbed by Gam, on the run, throws him out. 2 away. And the batter will be catcher Drew Bolson. Reached on a fielder's choice in the first, popped out to first in the 4th, and then grounded out to short in the 5th. For the Springers at the moment, 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. And for Miesville, 1 run, 6 hits, and 3 errors in the ball game. And O'Lean delivers. Strike 1. Inside part of the plate at the knees. Good pitch. The 0-1. Fouled to the screen, quickly 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for O'Lean, but damage done. 2 runs, 2 hits. The 2-run shot by Jordan Barth, and after 6.5, we stretch at the Joe with Cold Spring leading at 6-1 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
It's stretch time. Stand up, stretch out, and join Rob Kubias as he plays take me out to the ball game. Line up, headline down to the concession stands.
Here we go to the bottom of the 7th. Work to do for the Miesville Mudhens as they trail it to 6-1. 6, 7, and 8. Max Morris, Brian Sprout, Max Gam. Here's the catcher, Morris. He was at the plate when Ledoux was caught stealing. He has a single in the 4th and a ground out in the 2nd. 1 for 2 for the Miesville catcher. And here's one grounded out towards 2nd. Fox knocked it down, couldn't do much with it. That'll go for a leadoff hit for Morris, I'm sure. Not the official score, but a tough chance. Fox got to it as he was headed out into center field.
Second baseman, Brian Sprout.
That'll be the 7th hit of the game for Miesville. 2 in the 1st, 1 in the 2nd, 1 in the 4th. And then they added a hit in the 5th. And 6th. And here's one hit high down the line. And coming over to make the catch is Olson. Good running catch toward the line. And Sprouts quickly retired. Nice play by Olson. And Morris stays put, so now a runner on first and 1 away, and that'll bring up Max Gam. Sprout had a single in the 2nd. And now he's 1 for 3. That'll bring up Max Gam. Grounded into a round-the-horn double play in the 2nd. And then Olson robbed him of extra bases with a great catch at the fence in the 5th. The pitch to Gam up high, ball 1. Quick recap here in the bottom of the 7th. Cold Spring, 6 runs, 8 hits, 1 error. Miesville, 1 run, 7 hits, and 3 errors. Here's one chopped foul. And now 1-1 to Gam, the shortstop for Miesville. Brendan McKevitt, the left fielder, waiting on deck. He has a single in 2 trips. Miesville trying to get base runners here as we move into the late 3rd. Here's a bunt out from behind the plate. Bolson throw down to first. In time, good play. He grabbed it, spins, and throws. Gam retired 2-3. Morris advances to 2nd, and now with 2 away. That'll bring up McKevitt. He had that single in the 5th. Nice play, though, by the catcher, Drew Bolson. As he just wheels and fires. Bolson from St. Cloud. And McKevitt will bat here. McKevitt hails from Woodbury, looks at a curveball, strike one. Moorhead Brewers waiting in game 2 today. The Brewers fell to Chanhassen. There's a throw out towards second. Over the base runner, flagged down by Barth. Good play out on the edge of the infield. I'm not sure Pennick and Barth are on the same page there. Pennick in his 7th inning of work, the starter. There's one chopped off the plate towards second, charging. Fox throws, got him. Good play. 4-3 to get McKevitt. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. We have played 7, and Cold Spring continues to lead here on PrepSpotlight.tv. On to the 8th inning. Cold Spring here in the visitors' half. We'll send Drew Van Looy, Brad Olson, and Jaron Terrace 6, 7, and 8 to the plate against Chris O'Lean, the Miesville relief pitcher. Cold Spring 2 in the 1st, 2 in the 5th, and 2 in the 7th. The big story, Jordan Barth, 2 2-run home runs in this ball game. 1 in the 1st and 1 in inning ago. There's Van Looy playing at third base. 1 away, ball 1. Van Looy fouled out to the first baseman. Walked in the 4th. And had a single in the 6th. 1-1 now the count. Here's one ripped down the right field line. He goes the other way. This one headed for the corner. He rounds first, headed for second. Ball gets away from the right fielder, Werner. He's around second, and he's going to steam into third. And that'll probably go as a double and an error on the right fielder. We'll wait for the official scoring, Brad Olson. But Cold Spring gets their leadoff man all the way to third. And went into the corner for extra bases.
Left fielder, Brad Olson.
So, double in E9, allowing Van Looy to get all the way to third. That'll bring up Olson with an RBI opportunity. Fly ball to center field, and then reached on a couple of fielder's choices. There's a little number foul. Fielder's choice in the 4th and in the 6th. For the left fielder. He's made a couple of fine catches out on left field for Cold Spring. Left-handed batter digging in against O'Lean. Curveball hit in the air to center field. Vanderbosch has it measured. Runner tags from third, comes to the plate. He'll score standing up, and it's 7-1 Springers. So the double, the error on the right fielder, Werner, and now the sac fly RBI for Olson. And Cold Spring continues to pull away. This will bring up Jaron Terrace playing over at first base. He's had a single in 3 trips. Max Morris made a great catch in the 2nd inning up against the screen over by the Miesville dugout on the first base side. That was a fine play by Max Morris. Ball one, then strike one. The Terrace from Chris O'Lean, second inning of work. Their starter, Connor Malcolm, goes 6. This one hit high and foul over the Miesville dugout. And now 1-2. Jordan Barth hit that 2-run home run, that long two-run home run to left in the first. And Cold Spring has never looked back. They had a 2-0 lead after a half inning. Now it's 7-1 here in the top of the 8th. Curve ball back to the pitcher. O'Lean grabs. Toss over to first. In time, 2 away. Terrace retired 1-3, and that'll bring up Alex Jungles, the DH. He walked in the second, had a single and scored in the 5th. And popped out to Brian Sprout at second base. Here's one ripped foul, but outside of first. Ledoux gave it a look. 4 errors in the game for Miesville. They had that error to start the game, 2 errors in the 5th. And now the error on the right fielder Werner here in the 8th inning that contributed to the run. This one chopped at the plate. Two and 2 the count. Or 0-2 the count. 2 away, nobody aboard upstairs, 1-2. Alex Jungles, the DH. If he can find a way to reach, we'll go to Grant Hansen, top of the order. There's one off the handle toward short, tough chance. Gam on the run. Got him, good play. Jungles retired 6-3. But Cold Spring gets a run on a hit. And after 7.5, lead at 7-1 here on Prep Spotlight, not TV. Last summer's Emmy-nominated documentary Town Ball, Uniquely Minnesota, now available on Amazon Prime. Watch all 8 episodes and learn about the more than 100-year history of amateur baseball here in Minnesota. We're at the Joe for the bottom of the 8th inning in Shakopee, and Miesville running out of time. They trail at 7-1. The Mudhens will send the top of their order, Werner, Vanderbosch, and Marks, to the plate. Against Cold Spring starter Nick Pennick, who's done a really good job. Mudhens 1 run, 7 hits, but he has scattered those effectively. Gave up 2 in the first. Miesville was able to get a run, but gave up a hit in the second, a hit in the fourth, the 5th, the 6th, and the 7th. He faced the minimum in the second, but has not retired Miesville 1-2-3 in the ballgame. So here's Werner to lead it off. Had a double and a run scored in the first. Reached on an error in the third. And popped out to third in the 5th. Actually in foul territory. And Nick Pennick's done a really good job for the Cold Spring Springers. They're trying to earn a spot in that second game. Here's a foul. 0-1 now the count. That was kind of a hot shot, and the first base coach got a hand on it. I wouldn't get my hand near that thing. I would dive out of the way of that one. 0-1. And now 0-2. So Joey Werner, leadoff batter for Miesville. They're down to their final 6 outs of what could be the 2020 season here. Winner plays the Moorhead Brewers, and that's scheduled to start at about 4 o'clock today. The Brewers on the ground, getting ready. The 1-2 pitch, just missing. Now 2-2. '20 Minnesota Amateur Baseball Tournament brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association. There's one down in the dirt, now 3-2. 3-2 count to the leadoff man for Miesville, Joey Werner. And of course, the state tournament presented to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 is a hub for all things sports with the Xfinity Sports Zone. 3-2. They give him a walk. The catcher, Bolson, thought they got him. But Werner works out a walk. And I think that is the first walk given up by Pennick. And now Matt Vanderbosch with one on and nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Vanderbosch had a single in the first and then grounded out to first twice. He's 1 for 3. Looks at strike 1. State tournament coverage also presented by Wings Financial. We're for people like you. Miesville needs base runners down by 6 here in the bottom of the 8th. And Werner did his job by getting on base. And now it's Vanderbosch. Big cut, fouls it out of play, 0-2. Coming up on 3 o'clock, this game almost 2 hours old. And then they'll clear the stadium and get ready for the second game. Throw behind the runner down to first, not in time. Good throw by the catcher, Drew Bowles, and had to kind of reach over the batter, Vanderbosch. And Terrace was there to put on the tag, but Werner got back. 1-2 the count. A runner on, nobody out, bottom of the 8th, the pitch. Curveball, called strike 3. Vanderbosch doesn't like it. Doesn't like it at all. Second strikeout by Panic. He's still talking to the umpire. And with one away and one on, the batter's going to be Derek Marks. A good restraint by that home plate umpire. He didn't give him the heave-ho. Let him speak his piece. And Vanderbosch back to that Miesville dugout. Leadoff walk for Werner. Now the strikeout of Vanderbosch. Here's Marks. Runner goes, throws down to second, not in time. Stolen base for Werner. And now Miesville has a runner at second and one away here in the bottom of the 8th. Marks grounded out to short, picked up an RBI in the first. Fly ball to right in the third, and a ground out to second in inning number 6. 0 for 3, but an RBI for Derek Marks, and batting in the 3 spot for Miesville. And the pitch outside, good block by the catcher, Drew Bolson, 2-0 now. And now the catcher will trot out to visit with Nick Panic. Panic's done a very solid job. Been around the plate. Hasn't really overpowered Miesville, but scattered hits. Defense been pretty good behind him, just one error. That error coming in the 3rd inning, and it didn't hamper them. Fastball up in the zone, and Marks tried to hit that to Savage. Came up empty, 2-1 now. Big cut by Marks. Panic checks that runner. Shortstop Barth sneaks in behind him. Barth has been the hero for the Springers. 2-run homer in the first and the 2-run bomb in the 7th. Fastball just outside 2-2. Actually, then outside 3-1, the count one away, runner at second. This one hit in the air to center field. Coming on, Grant Hansen puts it away. Runner stays put at second base. The Marks fly ball to center field, and that'll bring up Austin Ledoux. Fly ball to right in the first, grounded out to third in the 4th, and had a single in the 6th, and then retired trying to steal second to end the inning. So Werner, the leadoff walk, then stole a base. Vanderbosch, the strikeout, Marks the fly ball to center. Curveball, strike one. And the runner steals third. So Werner reads a slow curve, goes to third. Drew Van Looy, the Cold Spring third baseman, nowhere near. That was an easy swipe. He may not even get credit for his steal there. There's a one off the end of the bat foul. Barely got a piece of it, 0-2 to Ledoux. Because they weren't even playing him at third base. Probably won't officially get a steal. There's one down in the dirt. Good drop by Bolson to block. 1-2. You could say defensive indifference on that one. So Werner has a stolen base, probably won't get credit for the second. There's another curveball down low. 2-2. To Ledoux playing over at first base for Miesville. Just hasn't been their day with the bat or defensively. Here's one chopped toward the hole. Barth backhands, can't come up with it. Run will score. Werner trots home. That would have been a tough chance by Barth. We'll see if that goes as an error. That'll bring up Nate Hammes, the DH. He's 0 for 3, including a strikeout in the 4th. That'll be a hit into the hole, and probably a good call, because that was a slow hopper in the hole. Barth had to backhand and throw quickly. Probably not. 8th hit of the game for Miesville. Big swing and a miss by Hammes. Couple of fly balls in the game for Hammes. One to center, one to right. Here's one down the right field line, but well out of play. And he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Leadoff walk to Werner, stole a base, moved to third, defensive indifference. And then Ledoux the RBI single on the infield. Here's a fly ball, right center field, cruising over Hansen, makes the catch to retire Hammes. So Miesville gets a run on a hit. They leave one, and after 8 complete, Cold Spring leading Miesville now 7-2 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Summary for Miesville, bottom of the 8th. One run on. Ritzer, now pitching.
We move to the top of the 9th inning here at Joe Schlepper Stadium in Shakopee, home of the 2020 State B Amateur Baseball Tournament. And a new pitcher in there for Miesville in the top of the 9th. Blake Ritzer from Woodbury, 6 foot, 165-pound right-hander. Ritzer on the mound. Malcolm started, went 6. Oline pitched 2. And now Ritzer here to pitch the 9th against Cold Spring. And Cold Spring will have the top of their order. It'll be Grant Hansen, Garrett Fox, and Jordan Barth, who's got not one but two two-run home runs in the ball game today. And the Springers lead it 7-2 here in the 9th. Catcher is still Max Morris. Marks at third, Game at short, Sprout at second, Ledoux at first. And the outfielder, McKevitt in left, Vanderbosch in center, Werner in right. For Miesville, 4 errors in the game. Here are the totals as we begin the 9th. 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. And Miesville, 2 runs, 8 hits, and 4 errors.
Center fielder, Brian Hansen.
Nice play over there by Ledoux. Brian Hansen is retired.
Also defensive change for Miesville, now playing second base, number 6, Jordan Wolin. The batter, second base.
Jordan Wolin playing at second for Brian Sprout. Wolin at second for Miesville. So Hansen retired. Hansen in the game. Reached on an error, scored a run in the first, had a double and a run scored in the 5th. Now fouls out to first base. Now here's Fox. Sacrifice in the first. Sac fly RBI to right field in the 5th. Had a single and a run scored in the 7th. There's a pitch outside by Ritzer. 3-1 to Fox. Someone fouling out of play. 3-2 now. Barth, the shortstop, waiting on deck. 2 two-run home runs in the game. He is 2 for 4, 4 RBI. The 3-2. Fouled away again. This one hit in the air to right field. Werner to his left toward the line. 2 away. And their batter will be Jordan Barth. Long 2-run home run in the first. Fly ball to center in the 3rd. Ground out to 3rd in the 5th. And then a 2-run homer in the 7th. What a day for Barth. Cold Spring leading at 7-2 here in the 9th. Here's one hit toward short. Knocked down by Gam. That'll go as a hit. 3rd hit of the game for Barth. Smash into the hole. Gam got a glove on it. That'll be the 10th hit of the game for the Springers.
Right fielder, Joe
That'll bring up Joe Dempsey, Joe Dempsey, the right fielder. He had a double in the 1st. Reached an error in the 5th. Dempsey had a double in inning number 1. First pitch, hit in the air, into shallow left field. Gam out, has it measured and puts it away. So the Springers get a hit. They leave one, and after 8.5, they still lead at 7-2. Here in Prep Spotlight.tv. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Miesville down to their final 3 outs, trailing at 7-2. And Zach Femright will pitch for the Springers. Femright was the starter against the Moorhead Brewers last Sunday. And Femright, 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, all of them earned. Struck out 4, walked 1, gave up a couple of doubles in that game. Femright pitched 2 innings a week ago. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs. Struck out 2 and walked 1, gave up a double, and that 9-5 win over Elko. Femright didn't pitch on the first weekend of the state tournament. So here we go for Miesville. Catcher Max Morris. Brian Sprout scheduled to bat. Looks like we'll get a pinch hitter and then Max Gam. 6, 7, and 8 for Miesville, trailing by 5 here in the bottom of the ninth. First pitch by Femright. Here's a curveball strike. 0-1. Looks like we will get that pinch hitter for Sprout. It'll be Wallen, who came in defensively in the top half of the inning at second base. Here's one to hit high in the air to left field. Olson going back toward the track. On the track, makes the catch. So Morris, high fly ball to the track and left. And it is out number 1. And with nobody aboard, that'll bring up Wallen. Jordan Wallen, 5'11", 190-pounder from Egan.
Second baseman, Jordan Wolin.
Wolin takes over for Sprout, who had a single in 3 trips. Here's a grounder to second on 1 pitch, 4-3. And now Miesville down to their final out. Nobody aboard. With 2 outs here in the bottom of the ninth. Oh, Femright 2 quick outs. And now it's Max Gam hit into a round the horn double play to end the second. Robbed at the wall by Olson and left. And a little number out in front of the plate picked up by the catcher Bolson, who's retired 2-3 in the 7th, so he is 0 for 3. Gam the final chance for Miesville. Big swing and a miss. Mudhens 14-8. Looking for a major 2-out comeback here in the bottom of the ninth. Femright's pitch. Up high. Now 1-2. 2 away, nobody aboard, bottom of the ninth. Cold Spring trying to close out the win. Here's one hit way up in the air on the infield. Who's going to catch it? Barth coming in. First baseman takes it. Terrace. And that is it. The Mudhens go 1-2-3 in the ninth. And Cold Spring beats Miesville 7-2. The Springers 7 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. The Mudhens 2 runs, 8 hits, and 4 errors. Nick Pennick the winner. Zach Femright in relief won't get credit for a save because he came in with a 5-run lead. But the big story in this game for Cold Spring, Jordan Barth, 2 2-run home runs, one in the first, one in the seventh. Cold Spring moves to 14-10. They will play the Moorhead Brewers coming up at 4 o'clock today. In our second game of the day, Miesville eliminated. They fall to 14-9. Once again, our final score today in Game 1 at the Joe in Shakopee. The Cold Spring Springers 7, the Miesville Mudhens 2. I'm Steve Thompson. Big thanks to our camera operator, Mike Peterson. We hope you'll join us for Game 2 from the Joe coming up here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
The 2020 Class B Minnesota Amateur Baseball Tournament is brought to you in partnership with the Minnesota Baseball Association and presented to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 is the hub for all things sports with the Xfinity Sports Zone. And Wings Financial. We're for people like you.